Afghanistan, and the CEO of Concerned Veterans for America was also a guard at Guantanamo Bay. And David Tafuri, a former State Department official and former foreign policy advisor to President Obama during 2008 campaign. Thank you both so much for being here. So it's a little disconcerting to hear him say, these are all bad boys. Some are more effective at it than others. But maybe they could keep the effective ones, at least, at Guantanamo Bay, Pete.
No, we're at the bottom of the baler. You know what we should do right now? Release 30-year-old hardcore jihadists back to Oman, which is right next door to Yemen. And you know what the questions we don't have answered? How long will they be there? Oman calls this a temporary deal. What are the safeguards in place that they won't go back to the battlefield? And many of these, majority of them have have a proclivity to go back to terrorism. They want to kill Americans. They were associates of Osama bin Laden. And Yemen is a hotbed right next door. This is a reckless action by the administration, hyper-focused on closing it down. It has nothing to do with what's in their dossier, and they're going to make any secret deal they need to empty this place out.
David, the way it feels is they want to empty the prison. They don't really know what to do with these guys. They're bad guys, but they're getting a get out of jail free pass. I mean, is this safe?
Well, we should not be releasing anybody who still poses a threat to the United States. Now, remember, these guys have not been released. They've been sent to Oman. Oman is an ally in the war against terrorism. They're going to be detained in Oman. They should be continue to be detained if they.
How long?
They should continue to be detained as long as they're a threat to the United States. But the bigger problem is Guantanamo needs to be closed, and anyone still in Guantanamo who poses a threat to the United States should be transferred to a maximum security prison inside the United States.
They can't be.
Apparently, there are people who think that they can't be, that we can't hold them in a maximum security prison safely, but we can. We're strong enough to do that.
That's what the administration wanted to do, and then the Congress passed a requirement that they not do it. It can't be funded. They will not be coming to U.S. prisons. Although now there's a report out tonight saying there is a plan that Ash Carter, our defense secretary, is getting ready that would indeed house some remaining Gitmo detainees in a secure facility in the U.S., Pete. I don't know how he's going to do it.
It's not a secret. It's not a secret to those of us that this administration would flaunt the law, that would ignore what Congress is trying to do. They're still looking at places in the United States. He cited 3 reasons in the State of the Union why we want to close Guantanamo Bay. It's expensive. That coming from the guy who's loaded up $19 trillion in debt, doubled it. Somehow that's now important to him. It's unnecessary. We're at war. We can't bring them to the United States. We don't have a better place to house them. I served in Guantanamo Bay. I know what a professional facility is there. It is top-notch, and we bend over backwards. And the third is he doesn't believe they're a threat anymore, that propaganda value is the problem. We know, if you track Islamist propaganda today, they're not talking about Guantanamo Bay. They've stopped talking about Guantanamo Bay a long time ago. It's about the nature of what they think they can achieve.
That has been documented, that they're not really focused on Gitmo anymore. But David, let me ask you, if these guys are so, not a problem, then why weren't they released with the other 3 tranches of releases? Is it like, as we get closer to the end, it feels like we're stuck with the truly bad dudes that we really shouldn't be releasing to anybody?
Well, the U.S. is in a very difficult situation. These people need to be put somewhere else. They have to get out of Guantanamo Bay. Guantanamo Bay is a scourge on the record of the U.S. as the most just, strongest country in the world.
Scourge.
Now, Congress needs to change the law and make it possible to put them into maximum security prisons. That's where they should be. All of them who still pose a threat to the U.S. We need to observe basic due process rights.
But is this a solution when Congress says no, we're not doing that?
Us to do,
but David, when Congress says we're not doing that, we're not bringing them to the United States. Eric Holder tried to do it, and there was an uproar. When Congress says you can't, is this a solution? Just like off to Oman temporarily, and we know it's really close to Yemen. It's like New York, New Jersey, just right across the border.
Look, our allies like Oman need to hold these people until they're not a threat anymore. And if they continue to be a threat, they have to be held. That should be part of the transfer agreement between the U.S. and Oman. And I certainly hope that is part of the transfer agreement. And that's what we need to do when we move these prisoners out of Guantanamo Bay. But the ones that are still a threat should be put in maximum security prisons in the U.S. That's how we'll know for sure.
Your plan is hope. We don't know what their plan is. Others have been released from allied countries also after they're deemed no longer a threat. And if you take them to the United States, you're treating them like common criminals. That's a pre-9/11 mindset. We're at war. Either we act that way or we don't.
Gotta go. Good to see you both.
That's not correct. The Supreme Court has said that basic due process rights apply in Guantanamo Bay and in the U.S.
Coming up, there is also new drama.